Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kire here with another Infinite Magicraid video, and in today's video I want to talk about the Ulacaster changes here in Infinite Magicraid. It just happened, and this is exactly how I wanted them to change him, plus more things that I didn't think they would actually give him. Because based on where he was before versus where he is now, he is a massively better character, and let's break down why. So the first thing that I'm really happy that they did, I didn't think they would go this far, but it used to be he would give attack up 2 to everyone, and then he would have a very low percentage chance to be able to put defense down 2 on everyone. Whereas I just wanted them to boost up the chance to 70% to make it to where we can guarantee it, like other characters that have a 70% speed down or a 70% defense down 2, something like that, that don't necessarily have the attack up with them. That would make him unique, where he has the attack up and the defense down in one move and make it consistent. That would be on the par, yes, the rest of the kit would matter, but that would be a very good ultimate to have on a mythic character. This needs to be good, but they went one step further here and then also put tenacity down 2 as well. So this is insane, because not only is he boosting everyone on his team's attack up, but then he's reducing their defense by 60% and their tenacity by 60%. This is insane. So when you do this, it's going to mean someone could go in here and nuke this so much easier. And also, not only that, Fortune cooldown I think is fair for something like this. Then you have his passive here. So Ulacaster gains 1 layer of Soul of Glory whenever an enemy dies, each of which increases self-damage by 40% and effect hit by 40%. I think that's the big thing there. Obviously 40% damage is amazing, but he's not really going to be your damage dealer, but getting that extra 40% affected is incredible, up to 4 layers, so up to 160% affected, and then grants Night King's Will and 1 layer of Soul of Glory on an ally with the highest attack when Alistair or the ally with the Night King's Will dies, and then grants 1 more layer of Soul of Glory on the ally for every enemy they kill. Only up to 1 ally on the battlefield could have the Night King's Will. Ulacaster will reclaim the Soul of Glory and the Night King's Will from the ally when the Night King's Will when he is revived. So then here's his passive, and I think they did a really good job of boosting his passive and making him kind of more in theme with a kind of king character. I like it when they do this, where they have a character, he has an aesthetic, and then the gameplay matches his aesthetic. I think that's really cool. Now, Ulacaster gains 1 layer of Soul of Glory whenever an enemy dies. This is very similar to what he used to have, each of which will increase self-damage by 20%, so 40% when booked and 40% effect hit, up to 4 layers. And then grants Night King's Will, it's this right here, and 1 layer of Soul of Glory on an ally with the highest attack when Alistair or the ally with the Night King's Will dies. And then grants 1 more layer of Soul of Glory on the ally for every enemy they kill. Up to 1 ally on the battlefield could have. Ulacaster will reclaim the Soul of Glory and the Night King's Will from the ally with the Night King's Will when he is revived. So how do you revive him? And all it takes is just exclusive 1 to get this massively good passive here. So grants self damage immunity and immunity to turn meter reduction effects for 1 turn if self HP is below 50% after taking direct damage. This skill can only be triggered up to once every 2 turns, which I think is totally fair. When the ally with the Night King's Will kills an enemy after Ulacaster dies, Ulacaster will be revived with 30% max HP, which is so sick. Like, that is probably one of the best passes in the game. Big fan of this right here. It fits aesthetically. It makes him really good. You don't have to worry about him dying. Buffing your highest attacker. The guy that he's buffing is the one that needs to land the kill. It makes sense that your highest attack character would be the one that actually lands the kill, and then that revives him with 30% at max HP. It doesn't require a skill. It's just always active. And they didn't stick it on his exclusive 3. They made it to where all you got to do is exclusive 1 him, which is, it definitely takes a little bit more time. Ideally, it would be something that you can just get, but I think it would just be too much of a value proposition to have something like this without needing to invest 150 mythic shard. And then it would just be one of those things where it's like, okay, I can get this super sick character for only 100. Everyone would do that, and then maybe move on to like a Ben Austin or something like that. But at 150, I still think Ben Austin's the way to go. Then we have exclusive 3. Ulacaster gains 1 more action turn when he inflicts a kill. And then let's look at the rest of his kit here. So he has a 85% chance to inflict Horrify for 1 turn and a 85% chance to inflict Freeze for 1 turn, which on a 3-turn cooldown is hilarious, and it's to all enemies. So this is one of the best DC moves in the entire game on a 3-turn cooldown. Or he has this. He's getting to the point where it's like, maybe this is the way to go versus a Ben Austin, because this is immediate effect to help you clear content, help with dungeons, help in arena, and then he only gets better with more exclusives. And then his auto attack here deals 3 stages of 100% attack damage, each to a single enemy. If self HP is below 50%, additionally grants 40% leech. If not, increases the self turnover by 10%. Also, this is 140%, so this is one of the highest auto attacks in the game. 140 times 3, 420% auto attack there. And then his exclusive 2 increases all allies attack by 40% for 2 turns. To be able to actually get this, you do need an exclusive 2 to be able to get everyone's attack up, which is a bummer, but I do like the defense down 2 and the tenacity down 2, because he's basically just an objectively better version of Amalek here by a ton. Kind of like how I feel I have Zia very, invested into, but Lucifer's just a better version of Zia. Same with this guy is. You know, yes, the difference here is this guy is a force mark and this guy is a red mark. So you definitely still have uses out of both of them, but both of them have this ability here where they have the defense down 2 and the tenacity down 2 on a guaranteed rate. But Ulacaster's is obviously infinitely better. He is self-reviving now. He has a guaranteed chance to freeze and to horrify, which is hilarious. I wonder if this retroactively makes him better in PvE content, which is going to be really scary in my opinion. But other than that, this guy is, I kind of want to talk about this with other content creators on, is he the way to go? Also look at his base attack. Base attack I think is the highest in the game, 4,514 versus, let's look at Lucifer, 4,444. Let's go to, I think the only other person I can think of that would be up there is like a Lucaya in his Brotherhood. Yeah, 4,514 versus 4,540. Okay, so tied with the highest attack with Lucaya, I believe. This guy got a massive buff. He went from a character that is pretty niche to probably like, I wouldn't even recommend summoning for him. And if you were in the position where you got like a Ben Austin, a Nordak, a Luna, you got all those characters, then I would be like, you know what, just save your mythic shards, and then if they come out with another character, you just buy the new character. Like that's kind of where he was. Like he was still like a fringe pick versus others, but there's some of them that I would never pick, period. And I still think that's the case in something like Madeleine here. If anyone knows some super sick use for her, she's in desperate need of a buff as well. But yeah, this guy is a monster now, like an absolute monster. So I think he's really good, and he's gonna be someone that I'm gonna consider picking up. Pretty much for me at this point, I wanted to pick up I was pretty, set on getting Lucifer for my account after, like, I think I'm 10 hours away from getting E3 Ben Austin. I was debating on either going here, a very small part of me was thinking, do I just exclusive 5 Ben Austin to get the extra speed? I think he scales a ton with speed here, but I don't think I was gonna do that. Just wouldn't have been fun, to like, oh, here we go, build up another 50 of these points just to get a little stat boost, which would have been a bummer. But I was pretty much thinking Lucifer, but now I'm reconsidering. Also kind of reconsidering too, because Nid rolled at E1 is just so much better. Like I'm doing crazy damage now in the guild boss just with Nid roll. So it's like, I was planning on getting Lucifer to be able to do this, but it's like Nid roll does more damage than Lucifer. And I've seen like people with like E3 Lucifers, E3 Nid rolls, and then they have better gear on the Lucifer, and then he does like 20 to 30 million more than the Lucifer. So it's like in all situations he's better. Like the thing that was kind of a bummer for me though was that I have such a massive investment in Red Mark, whereas it's like so many of the good characters now are Force Mark. So that's kind of a bummer, but that's kind of going, I just kind of like to talk about my decisions and thought processes when it comes to mythic heroes, because there's such a big decision, and then also thinking about it from like the perspective of each account. So giving my kind of thoughts about it, it's kind of, I think it's been helpful. I think a lot of people have liked that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about this, and like Ulacaster. And then it also makes me want to think about my first mythic hero. I feel like Ulacaster is now in the discussion as like the first one to get, in my opinion. He's right up there, because I feel like for guild boss, like from exclusive defense, because the attack up 2 only happens at exclusive 2, whereas Ben Austin I think is pretty good at exclusive 0. He just gets way better for guild boss at exclusive 3, whereas he's like a really good arena character and a good guild boss character immediately, but he doesn't really do much for dungeons. And I feel like Ulacaster is going to be amazing for dungeons, amazing for campaigns, mainly because of that 3-turn cooldown on his freeze and his horrify. That's going to help you clear waves so much easier and not have to worry about dying too much. I think in hard dungeons, you need to be able to freeze. You need to be able to just stop them from attacking versus trying to survive it to shields and stuff. So it's like, it kind of makes me feel like he's a little better than other characters. Like that's why I like Nordak in dungeons, and then now Ulacaster in dungeons. The big thing with Nordak though, on his buff here where he's doing this, and this is on a 4-turn, but you can have a guaranteed turn here on a 3-turn. This is definitely better on bosses though. Be able to have the guaranteed take no damage, like damage immunity here. Whereas this one, like buffs are annoying in the sense that they kind of punish you for being too fast. Like what if you're trying to lap a boss and then you come here and you have this ready, but you have all these good stats and you're going too fast, and then the boss doesn't even go, and then it removes that. Whereas with this, that's why I like debuffs a lot, is yes, you need to have the effect hit for it, but it's guaranteed and you can apply it, and then you don't get punished for being too quick. I know that's kind of a rare thing, but as you're trying to progress and you want to build your characters as strong as possible, that becomes a real issue, in my opinion, when it comes to buffs. And then also it kind of limits you. You have to turn, it limits you how you want to do your turns. You kind of need him to go last, so he applies this, and then the enemy goes, and then you take no damage. But bosses do so much damage in this game that probably gonna be, worth considering. I think this is interesting. I like that they brought him to mythic level. It makes this a lot more interesting. This mythic mechanic in this game is really cool, and the discussions you can have on which mythics you get is really fun, in my opinion, and how accounts change based on where you decided to go, because it's such a big deal to be able to pick one. So I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts below on the new Ulacaster update. And with that, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.